Congressman, when I've had Israeli representatives on my shows, they've talked increasingly about not trusting Qatar and not working with Qatar after all of this is settled in deciding Gaza's future. Before we get into the weeds of Hamas here, do you agree with that would be a bad partner to have deciding ultimately what Gaza will look like and be run like?
I wouldn't want to be around any of these folks, Mr. Cavuto, and thank you for having me on. We know that their top leaders, they're worth at least 11 billion that we know of, and their people are starving in the streets, literally, and they pulled up their water pipes, as we know, to make missiles, and their water table's all jacked up because the sewage is involved in that. I mean, these people have no care for their people. All they care about is themselves. Now, it goes much deeper than that, though. You have to look at our own State Department, which we've known has been actually using American tax dollars that have funneled to some of these groups. We discussed it in a committee a couple of weeks ago. And we don't hear anything from it. We don't hear anything from the media or any of that on that. And so they're in bed with Washington, and Washington's in bed with them. We need to pick our side on this thing, and our side is Israel. We need to stay far away from Hamas or anything they have. We need to freeze any assets they have in this country because we know they're going to be funding a war against our enemies. And this White House is talking about negotiating with folks like Iran, and giving them a nuclear deal and the $6 billion. These are people that throw gay people off of buildings, that treat women like cattle, that infiltrate Israel and cut the heads off of defenseless little babies. And these are the people this White House thinks we ought to have a ceasefire with. I would dare say on December 7th of 1941, about December 8th, this bunch would want to be negotiating a ceasefire with Japan and Nazi Germany. This is beyond the pale. We need to let Israel do their business, and we need to let them have some Old Testament style of judgment.
All right. They don't call it a ceasefire, as you know, sir. They're talking about just a temporary disruption to allow people to get out of that region and aid to come in. And you argue there's no difference?
There is a difference because Hamas is not allowing them to do that. Okay. If they were, they wouldn't be putting a military installation, one of their largest ones, under a hospital. They wouldn't be launching missiles out of schoolyards, and they wouldn't be. And we know what's going on. They're going to let these people get out, and they're going to kill them, and they're going to blame the Israelis. This is a bad deal, and these are horrible people.
Real quickly while I have you, sir, Ted Cruz has introduced legislation that would also punish companies that do business with, presumably countries like Qatar that might be benefiting Hamas, hotel chains, entertainment companies, and the rest. Do you agree with that?
I do. And what will happen is they'll hire a bunch of fat cat lobbyists on K Street, and that bill will not go anywhere. It'll be a proclamation, and I'm sure Hamas will really honor a sheet of paper because, again, this country is this town is gutless, and we're addicted to the money, and these lobbyists have way too much power and too much influence. And God bless Ted Cruz for that. I'll be supporting that.
Seeing you again.
Thank you, sir.